Hello guys, welcome back to Farmsland Farms. Sorry I haven't been posting in a long time. It's been rough trying to find time to upload videos and make them. But today I wanted to talk about what we're doing during the winter on the farm. And during the fall we had talked about intensive pasture management, trying to manage the pasture as efficiently as possible. Well, part of that is during the winter, when it's the off season and the grass is dormant, you want to make sure that you take your animals off the pasture so as not to kick it. During the winter, the grass, like I said, is dormant. If you put animals on it that eat the grass, it's kind of like kicking a man while he's down and he's on the ground bleeding or whatever. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that your grass can come back as healthy as possible in the spring. And so that's why during the winter, what we do with our goats and most of our poultry, we put them in these winter complexes. So they're not that complex. All they are is panels that we put the goats in, and we fill it up with leaves and hay, anything that will compost. And what all of that will do is it will make the stuff that we plant our seeds in for a spring garden in April and May. So it fulfills a lot of different things. For one, it makes sure that our pasture doesn't die and is as healthy as possible, like I said, in the spring. The pasture will come back thicker and richer. In fact, because we're doing it, you can see behind me, that's a low pasture where I've been filming most of my videos, and the gum ball behind it, and it's green right now, which is crazy. If I wanted to, and I really do, I just don't have the option. I don't breed my bunnies in the winter, but I could put some bunnies out there and it would be completely fine. That would be perfect forage for some weanling bunnies. But as far as putting a large herbivore like a goat, sheep, or a cow, it's way too tender, especially in a climate where the next day or tonight it's going to be freezing. So you get that pasture benefits. The garden also benefits because it gets all this compost. This is the stuff that makes our garden soil as amazing as it is. It reduces weeding time, it fertilizes the ground, tons of different stuff goes on with the garden that's beneficial, and I'll make some videos on our weed management strategy. Basically, this will turn into a thick loam, and we'll put it out as a topsoil over our garden as a mulch. We plant seeds directly into it, and then if we have time, the best scenario, we come back 2 weeks later and we put a leaf mulch down over this, and that will further make sure that there's no weeds in the garden. Plus, also in addition with this, because intensive pasture management is so mobile, it's hard to keep good shelters for your animals because you're moving them all the time. So, I mean, you can do it, it's possible. It's just for our production model right now, it will be hard. So what we do is we just have these static shelters, and the goats can get into them at night and sleep if they want to. Perhaps noticeably, our donkey isn't here. She wasn't doing very well on this method. One part of this is I don't give the goats hay free choice, because what they do is they will just destroy the hay bale and waste maybe a third of the hay bale. So what I do is I feed them as much as they can eat in a day. The donkey was not doing well on that, so she needs hay fed ad libitum. So we moved her a different portion of the pasture, and you'll see her in future videos. So we took them off when the pasture was ready to go into a rest. Our schedule last summer looked like put the animals out in the spring. We had one rotation. We let it rest for 6 weeks. We could have let it rest only for 5, but arbitrarily we did 6. just because there was other pastures that were being grazed at the time. Put them on for a second rotation. We let the pasture then rest for a pretty long period after that, and then we put them on for a third time, and that was the cutoff after that third round. We did cut the pasture for hay right before the dog days of the summer, around the late period of June. So I guess technically we could have gotten 4 grazings off of it. And we took them off around October. So they've been in here for the past 3 months, and they'll be in here until April. You don't always have to put them on for that long. It's just with our we're doing what our pasture needs to do, and that's what any farmer has to do. You have to work with the pasture that you have, and not be on rigid time schedules like it should be warm in April, or excuse me, it should be warm in March, I'm going to put them out in March. Nature doesn't work that way. Right. So we have other winter complexes for other animals. So right here is our ducks, and you probably have been hearing them for a while throughout this video. But they, our production model with them is we're going to be selling duck eggs at the farmers market in Lumberton. And they're doing the same thing as the goats. So we don't want them on pasture. We take them off the pasture and put them here. And their purpose is to make compost for the garden. Now, so we're doing the same thing with some of our lambkins and with some of our all of our guineas. Basically the same model. Put them into a cage or a pen in the goat's case, and just keep filling it up with leaves until the spring. Or actually, I'm going to make another video on this, hopefully. We're actually going to put hogs on both of these places to till up and kind of aerate the compost and turn it into the loam. So that's going to be interesting. But until then, I'm sorry I haven't been producing as many videos, but hopefully with the new year we'll be on a better schedule. Have a good day, guys.